Very good morning to one and all. I know we are going through the COVID-19 pandemic, and it is a really bad situation throughout the world. But on the other side, I will say that this can prove a blessing in disguise for pharma industry. As our panelist mentioned regarding hydroxychloroquine, the drug which is being supplied by India to whole world, and even US, UK, European countries were looking at us for getting the supply of that API from India. So I'm going to focus my talk on role of pharmacy professionals in the bulk API manufacturing after this COVID-19 scenario. And it is being rightly said by CPHI worldwide that emerging markets are growing in the importance for API firms. Let me tell you, API is nothing but it is active pharmaceutical ingredients. And whenever any pharmaceutical formulation is prepared, the most important part in formulation is API and excipients. And this market is growing in importance because pharmaceutical preparations are required worldwide. API suppliers that can prove security of their supply chain from raw materials through to ingredients are likely to be considerable, having demand from pharmaceutical firms all over the world. So we have big opportunities lying in front of us as Indian pharma professionals that we can carve our niche in the field of API manufacturing. And regarding that, my discussion topics will be covering the opportunities which lies in front of us. While grabbing those opportunities, there will be some challenges which we need to overcome. And last, we'll be talking about the action plan, how we should plan our activities to grab all these opportunities and tackle the challenges which are there in front of us. Let me tell something about the background. API production and its supply is a truly global business. During early 90s, India was world leader in API manufacturing, but slowly China captured that market with cheaper products. At that time, the China was providing the APIs which were 40% cheaper than Indian counterparts. And that is where India lost their leadership in API manufacturing and China took over. The global API market is estimated to reach around US dollar, around $245 billion by 2024 from present 185 billion US dollar. 40% of APIs which are being required throughout the world are being produced and supplied by China. And this chain is actually disrupted during this COVID-19. And because of this disruption, the whole pharma world is being disrupted. And that's why the pharma industries and pharma manufacturers all over the world, they are looking after for some alternatives to the China. And I think it's my personal opinion that India can have the chance of regaining its previous glory where we were a world leader in 90s. So there is a fierce competition right now for low cost and higher volume API sector. As I said earlier, China is providing the APIs which are 40% cheaper than India. And here we have to take care of high volume production and in time delivery. So present situation of Indian drug market is that it is importing around 70% of their total bulk drugs from China, which is not a good sign being a pharma professionals. Actually, to be very honest, even paracetamol, which is required for preparation of basic crocin, is being imported from from China. And this is the reason because of which even Modi government has put a ban on import of around 38 drug molecules and APIs from China, as this chain of supply has been disrupted during this COVID-19. This is the glory of Indian pharma industry. Industry directly and indirectly provides employment to over 2.7 million people. So we have a good chance of increasing the employability. Industry generates around $11 billion of a trade surplus every year. So trade deficit can be taken care of if we increase the generation of API by pharma industries. It has attracted more than $2 billion FDI inflows for last 3 years, which is a good sign. it accounts for around 60% of global vaccine production. Around 70 to 80% of the DPT vaccines are exported from India, and it is being demanded by WHO. And same is the case with measles and pertussis vaccine. And it is really a pride moment for all of us to talk about this, that 1 in every 3 pills which are consumed in US is being produced by the Indian generic manufacturers. 25% of the formulations which are there into UK market, they are from Indian market. So as we are talking about different avenues which are available to us, no doubt we have some opportunities which we need to take care of. We have to tackle. These are the opportunities which are there. We have highly skilled workforce. Over 225,000 pharmacy students graduate from Indian educational system, as compared to around 17 to 18,000 odd people which gets graduated from US educational system. We have availability of diverse patient pool that makes India as a good hub for a clinical research. And in comparison to China, even we do have a labor cost efficiencies which can provide a significant competitive advantage over our counterparts. Another important opportunity which lies in front of us is leveraging the patent cliff. There are around $251 billion US sale which is going to be off patent in next 4 years. And we are world leader in ANDA filing. We are the top rankers in US ANDA filing. So Indian industries, generic industries can increase their ANDA share and can increase the faster time to reach to the market with all the generic kind of products which can leverage the patent cliff which is going to be created in next 4 years. Another important opportunity which lies with us is that we need to put our footprints into under-penetrated international markets like Japan, Latin America, China, Africa, and Indonesia, to name few. Let me give an example. In Japan, the previous year's sale for pharma products was around $85 billion, and India's share into that market was lesser than 1%. Which needs to be taken care of. It cannot be neglected. Japan is also a crucial and important market where from we can increase our trade. Another important opportunity is that we can leverage the India's strength. India's strength lies into IT and ITES, information technology, and information technology enabled services can decrease the deficit which is there with the doctors and number of doctors and physicians which are available. It is being said that we have around 29 doctors behind every 10,000 people, whereas in case of China, it is around 43 doctors behind every 10,000. And if you talk in terms of US, there are around 111 doctors behind 10,000 population or people. So we need to increase the consumerization, and that consumerization can be increased by OTC policy. So that needs to be taken care of. For this particular thing, we have to take help of IT and ITES to have that kind of apps which in the remote places can help patients, though they are not having access to the doctors, that can be taken care of by, at least for the elements which can be at initial stages, can be taken care of by patients themselves. So to have and grab these opportunities, there are few challenges which lies in front of us. First one is that government will have to take care of this particular challenge, that we'll have to create a long-term investment plan. Government should try to create a stable platform for pricing and policy environment, which is really a big concern through the point of view of investors, because government keep changing these policies every now and then. And another important thing is that whomsoever is interested in producing and manufacturing these pharmaceutical products will have to ensure the availability and accessibility of all these drugs at affordable cost. And I think we are doing it right now. Another important challenge which is there in front of us is everybody talks about lack of capabilities of Indians in innovation space. It is true that there is limited talent pool with advanced skills. There are around odd 15 to 20,000 students which gets enrolled for PhDs in pharma every year, whereas in case of US, there are around 1 lakh students which keeps enrolling for PhD. So you have a good talent pool which can help you in increasing your innovation space. Even there is a limited government support research ecosystem which can help in decreasing this deficit. Again, there is a gap between the college curriculum and industry's requirement. Every time when we interact with industry people, they point out this thing, that the curriculum which you deliver and the things which you talk about, it is absolute, and right now people are talking about something else. So that kind of things needs to be incorporated into the curriculum. And last is poor collaboration which is there between government institutes and industry, which government will have to think upon and will have to increase this collaboration to have our capability increased into innovation space. We are over dependent and over reliant onto China for our intermediates and APIs. Around 70 to 80% of the India's requirements by volume is being fulfilled by China, and it is being disrupted during this COVID-19. So this is a wake-up call for all of us, not only for all of us, but for the pharma manufacturers all over the world, that you cannot rely on to the one suppliers. And India can be the next best alternative which is available to the pharma manufacturers all over the world. We need to increase the government support in this case, and we have to tackle the infrastructure facilities which are available to us for manufacturing of intermediates and APIs. Another important challenge which lies in front of the pharma manufacturers or API manufacturer is that we will have to keep a promise of high quality, reliable suppliers of medicines. We cannot be casual in making the product and not attaining the required quality concerns of regulatory authorities. So we need to have a greater scrutiny from regulators on the quality norms, and we will have to invest in upgrading the quality standards so that we can reach up to the mark of the quality standards which has been set for by various drug regulators. So when we are comparing and talking about China being they are world leader right now into API manufacturing, if we need to take that post or take that particular lead into API manufacturing, we'll have to basically understand the market and the initiatives which are being taken by the Chinese government. China and India, where is the difference lies? The difference is being given. Lower in China, there is a lower capital in expenditure requirements due to large SEZ zones. The SEZ zones which we have, they have 10 to 15 folds more SEZ zones as compared to ours. And I hope everyone knows what special economic zones means, where common facilities are there for effluent treatment. They have subsidized rates for electricity and water supply, and so on and so forth. Even the borrowing cost of Chinese government is lesser, which is around 5 to 7% as compared to 11 to 14% in India, which is a big deal to take care of. And lower logistic cost is there in China, around 1% of total cost in China. If it is being compared with Indian scenario, it is around 3% for India. Then lower conversion cost is there because labor and electricity cost in China is relatively cheaper as compared to the India. And supportive R&D ecosystem. When I was going through the literature, I got this very important article that in China, they have started 1,000 talent plans where they are attracting the China-born scientists for working towards R&D and work on these kind of APIs and intermediates and increase how productivity of all these kind of things can be increased. So that is a good sign. And somewhere, even our government will have to start these kind of plans. So I have some action plans which I wish to show and share with you all, because all these things will, I think, will help India to tackle the Chinese counterparts if we want to carve our niche into the API drug manufacturing world. So first of all, what we will have to do is we will have to increase our capability on the quality front. Not only onto the quality front, but we will have to also engage with regular and deeper engagement with the regulatory authorities, because if the regulations and the norms are changing from regulatory authorities, we should be aware about it. And that's why we should have a regular and deeper engagement with the regulatory authority people all over the world. Second important thing is that this is my personal opinion again, that we need to have independent ministry which is taking care of pharmaceuticals. Unfortunate part in India is that pharmaceuticals somewhere is partly is being taken care of Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, and on the other part, some areas of pharmaceuticals are being governed by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So somewhere we are like getting into a tricky situation. We are not able to convince one of the industry that how important the pharma world is and how trade deficit can be decreased by increasing the attention towards the pharma world or pharma industries. So what I feel is that government should have a complete independent ministry or Ministry of Pharmaceuticals to simplify policy making and expedite the investment approvals which are there pending with other ministries. And next important thing is that it will protect and promote the industry's interest, because that industry will be actually taking care of only pharmaceuticals. So that can help us in promoting the industry's importance and interest. Next action plan which I feel is that we should focus on API manufacturing. We should create more dedicated zones for manufacturing of APIs. As I said, SEZ should be increased. Number of SEZs can be increased where we can give the dedicated zones for manufacturing of APIs. And we need to decrease the lower cost of the borrowing, which is around 11 to 14% in India as compared to China. In China, it is being available at 3 to 5%. So that needs to be taken care of by government. And last important action plan, which I feel through the point of view of academics, is that we should create an anchor educational institution which will be well funded by government to just carry out the research activities in these kind of areas. And we should accelerate the greater collaboration in the innovation programs, so that not only into ANDA filing, we should be leader and leading into the ANDA filing as well. These are the things which I feel can be taken care of in terms of action plans, not only by pharma professionals, but also by the government. So it needs to be a symbiosis between pharma professionals and Indian government to have join hands together to increase the productivity and to decrease the trade deficit with the help of pharma world. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Atish. You can stop sharing the screen. Go to Vishal. Vishal, any questions would you like to ask Atish?
First of all, fantastic presentation, Dr. Atish. It was really very good that you brought up on. You covered so many aspects of API manufacturing in just, I can tell you, in 17 minutes.
Thank you.
And it was amazing because you covered the strengths. You covered what are the strengths with India. Chemistry being our strength, as everybody knows, we have been manufacturing for so many years. You covered weaknesses as well. You compared India versus China, strengths and weaknesses. You also spoke about the opportunities that lie ahead in terms of a post-COVID-19 situation, where the whole world is relying on only one supplier. And so you covered the opportunities as well as you covered the threats, because definitely China is a bigger threat. And then again, it's good to talk about all the weaknesses and strengths and opportunities, but nobody talks about the action plan. So you also covered, you gave an action plan. You didn't even just give a problem, but you also tried to give a solution, which is very important. You spoke about the policy issues that government should adopt. You spoke about the ministry. You spoke about the students, how they can align themselves to the needs of the industry. So I think all in all, it was a fantastic presentation. I hope this presentation is recorded and people can go and watch again when it is, whenever they have time, who missed this opportunity. I do have some questions, if you might.
Yeah, most welcome.
I will check let me check the Facebook first. If there is any question, I will first ask those.
Yeah.
So currently, not any questions. So I will ask the questions that I have.
Okay.
You certainly mentioned that the another strength of India is information technology, and you very nicely connected these two dots. You said that there need to be, and probably we need a separate webinar for how IT and pharma can come together to this. So there is one part. Do you think that there is one question that I have, and also you can elaborate more on that, is about the confidentiality, because somehow in all these processes, right? What one thing I seriously feel when we work with people is we do not treat confidentiality very seriously. Because whenever there is an API manufacturing is happening, that is an opportunity for India, because we have seen that in Chinese manufacturing cases, there are other copies of drugs being made, or people kind of make copies and then divert the synthetic processes. So the faith, the trust that is lacking currently in Chinese manufacturers, we can probably have we can show ourselves that we are more trustworthy, we are more not just capable, we are capable, but we are more trustworthy. I also know that the trust for Indian companies was shaken because of many different reasons, and the confidentiality issues. So any thoughts on that?
Actually, IT-enabled system can help in decreasing the number of doctors which we have right now. There are around 23 doctors behind every 10,000 people. So it is not possible for all patients to be taken care of by the doctors. So in that sense, I was talking about IT-enabled systems or services can help in increasing the consumerization of the pharmaceuticals. Because unless and until consumerization and unless and until our pharmaceutical and products reaches to the remotest place, our increase into the expenditure and increase into the productivity will of no use, because we cannot just rely on to the export. We will have to ensure that the products are being sold into our country as well. Another important thing which you spoke about, the reliability. Even I have two examples from China. They had a problem previously. They had a problem with two products. One was heparin and another one was valsartan, which was being spoken about into world pharma market like anything. European industries were challenging that there is some quality issues with terms of valsartan and in case of heparin as well. But the problem is not only regarding the quality issues. The problem is regarding their policies. Now, all of a sudden, they have stopped the export of the APIs and intermediates. So what has happened? Right now, the essential products like antihypertensives and antidiabetics are not available into Indian market. This has happened just because of the over-reliance onto the one supplier. And in that case, whole world is looking at us because we are very much ahead in terms of our capabilities and in terms of our workforce as compared to China. So can we focus on that particular area that we can increase our productivity and we can increase our reliance and we can have that trust from all over the world, because China has backstabbed in this particular situation because hydroxychloroquine was being provided to whole world by India. So somewhere whole world is having that faith into India and Indian government as well. Right now, India is the image of India in whole world is quite rare, and that can help us. And as a pharma professional, we can take advantage of it. And that's why at the beginning of a session, I said this COVID-19 scenario can be a blessing in disguise for Indian pharma industry. Over to you, Vishal.
Yes, thank you very much for the explanation. Yeah, I do agree. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, a golden opportunity for all the pharma companies and the pharma professionals. Now it is up to us how we utilize that opportunity, right?
Yes.
And then we need help from different areas, like you said, the ministry and because you mentioned about heparin and you gave a lot of very good numbers on the manufacturing of API. How much, if you know in your mind is okay, otherwise it's fine. How much biologics do the Chinese supply to the market, like antibodies and vaccines?
Actually,
if you have in mind.
No. I do have the data of that as well. China dominates this particular area. The products which are based on fermentation, drugs like antibiotics, your essential vitamins and hormonal pills. So somewhere we will have to increase that biosimilars. We will have to increase our capability in manufacturing of biosimilars and other complex drug molecules. And that is actually the challenge which lies in front of our pharma chemists or pharma professionals which are doing their PhDs. So these can be taken as a task or a challenge, or even government can give some grants to various PhD aspirants to work on these particular areas. As I said, China has started the talent hunt, 1,000 talent hunt. 1,000 talent plan. So same kind of plan can be worked by the government, where people are dedicatedly working on these kind of things and can come up with some particular solution which can help in increasing our productability of all these kind of products for which we are over dependent onto China, and even whole world is dependent onto China for that particular reason.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. And yeah, you rightly said, I mean, I did not have the numbers, but biologics is a major market along with the small molecules. And if that also is dominated by China, and, you know, in we had Hopkins Institute, we had Hindustan Antibiotics 50, 60 years back, where we used to be the dominant player in those times. And somewhere along the way, we have lost the opportunity to the Chinese manufacturers. Maybe it's a time to...
cost of the ingredients, which was going higher. And that's why whole world started going. Even our manufacturers started importing the drugs and intermediates from China. The reason behind that was only the cost. So somewhere Indian government will have to give or increase their subsidies so that we can also produce the API and intermediates at a lower cost and at a higher volumes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Atish. I think I will, because there are no other questions in Facebook, I think I will stop here so that in interest of time, we can continue.
Thank you.